raise hand function if you have a question.
Christian, tell us about your fight week.
Um, it's been good so far. It's been a great experience. I love coming out here to the Mohegan Sun, and this is what I've been dreaming of since I was a little kid. So I'm feel good. I'm ready to perform on Thursday.
How have preparations been going?
Good. I've just been training and getting ready and preparing for a hell of a fight. Hamza Salimi's a tough guy, and I've just been doing everything I can to make sure I give the best performance I can.
Now, you've already mentioned your opponent, but tell us what you see in his fighting style that may pose a challenge for you.
I noticed that he is a very kick-heavy guy, and he likes to throw a lot of kicks. And I don't think that it poses much of a threat, but I'm definitely going to be ready for it at the same time. I'm not overlooking him by any means. And I feel like this is going to be a good stylistic matchup for me. I feel like it really plays in my favor.
We'll now take some questions from the media. Ben?
Hey, Christian. So your last fight saw you go the distance for the first time in your career after blowing through a lot of your opponents. How did it feel going the whole 15 minutes?
Felt great, man. Honestly, I was just talking to Rich the matchmaker a few hours ago, and I was telling him that this is honestly, like, I mean this with all my heart. Like, that's the funnest fight I've had out of all three of my fights for Bellator so far, just because, it was fun knowing that I can go that full 15 minutes, and I got to showcase all of my skills, my grappling, my striking, my wrestling, all of it in one fight, and it was, it's a good feeling getting a knockout with like a head kick or a punch or whatever. But, it's good knowing that I have that capability in me to push a good pace for a whole 15 minutes.
And you're about to go into your fourth professional fight, all of which have come underneath the Bellator banner. How do you feel about the fact that you've sort of developed in the cage under a major promotion as opposed to a lot of guys who have done it on the more regional circuit?
Yeah, I feel like it's had a huge part to do with not just the fact that I train with the greatest gym in the world, but the people that I have surrounded, that I'm surrounded by at that gym. Dontel Mays, who's in the UFC, Devin Clark, who's in the UFC, Juan Adams, who, was on the Contender Series and the UFC. Like, I have all those people in my ears telling me the right things that I need to hear, so I don't, freak out when it comes to showtime. Even in my pro debut, I was, surrounded by those guys, so I knew what to expect going into that, and it wasn't intimidating to me. It was actually exciting.
And just one more for me. So if you score your fourth win in Bellator on Thursday night, what do you want next? Are there any particular names in the division that interest you?
Honestly, I'm going to trust that my manager is, going to be on top of his game when it comes to getting me the right fights. But of course, I think I can hang with the best in the division. And, if, my manager and the matchmaker feels like I'm ready for, a top 10 guy, or not even a top 10, just like a real like contender, somebody who's, relatively known in Bellator, then I'm ready for that, because I can hang with those guys and I can beat those guys, I believe, genuinely.
Donna?
Hey, Christian, how's it going? In terms of fighting during the whole pandemic or whatever that we're in at the moment, did you have any concerns about stepping into the cage, about going and fighting at the moment, or were you happy to do it at the first chance?
I was honestly so excited to, like, when Bellator started doing events again, I was excited because I knew for a fact that they were going to hit me up sooner or later, because even if there is a pandemic going on right now, I'm still going to take the chance I can to, perform and put on a show because it's not, like, for a while there wasn't any other sports going on but MMA, and when Bellator started doing events again, I was just excited to be able to, compete and do something, for the people that like to watch competitive sports, so it's a good feeling knowing that we're back in business and doing events again.
Of course, you're 3-0. You haven't had a great deal, aside from your last fight with Marco Hutch, you haven't had a great deal of time in the cage, be it in the pro or amateur ranks. Are you happy with the speed at which Bellator are building you? Sometimes maybe guys have been pushed a little too quickly, then perhaps there have been other guys who've maybe been put on the slow burn for too long and it's come back to hurt them. Are you happy with the speed at which things are working for you in Bellator?
No, I'm definitely happy with it. I think that they have really been, like, trying their best to, get me good fights, and not just, like, good fights, but challenging fights too, to see where I'm at as, you know, like as far as my development goes, and you know, just like how my you know, stay here in Bellator is gonna be, you know, because I think that they're, you know, a little skeptical because, you know, I'm 3-0, you know, as a pro, and I've had all my fights for them. So, you know, of course they're going to be skeptical to give me like a top, you know, like a real contender or like a top 10 guy. But I know my own improvement. I, you know, trust my coaches and I trust my teammates to prepare me in the right way. So, you know, I think that once they finally do give me a real contender or a top 10 guy, they'll see that I'm here to stay and I'm going to make a lasting impression in Bellator.
One more from me, and if you don't want to answer this question, please feel free not to. But as an athlete who is a person of color in America at the moment, of course, there's a lot of pressure for people to use their platform to talk about Black Lives Matter and about diversity issues and things. Do you feel that pressure, and do you feel like you should be making statements on things like that, or do you think that athletes should be allowed to just compete in their sports and not have to worry about it?
Yeah, I don't, you know, like I try not to speak on those things too much when it comes to my sport, because in my sport and just my gym in general where I train at, you know, like, you know, it's people of all nationalities, people of all religions. We all come together and we all enjoy the same things and we do the same things. So, you know, we bond through what we do, you know, and it's, you know, it's not that I don't care. I'm not saying I don't care, but it's just, you know, I don't experience that type of hate and that type of inequality that's going on in some places. I am aware of it, but I don't experience it myself. So I won't pretend that I do.
Thank you for answering, man.
Of course.
Thank you very much for the time, Christian, and good luck the rest of the week.
Yep. Thank you.
And thank you.